I said, Deborah, what happened when you pressed the mouse selector in the cabin pressurization panel to manual? What happened? One of the things is going to happen now once we go over the rest of the stuff, the normal stuff. One of the things is, well, when you go to manual and you go back to auto, you also change CPC. Oh my God, the guy's going to say, oh shit, I not even knew that. Because normally everybody's going to say this here. When you go to the mode selector, when you go to manual, what happens? Well, the first thing that's going to happen is you're going to arm the manual vertical speed control switch. That's the first thing you're going to do. Why? Because with the manual vertical speed control switch, you control the main outflow valve, right? Every time you go up or you go down, you open or you close the main outflow valve. By controlling the main outflow valve, now you control the rate of cabin climb up or descent, right? On the main outflow valve. So every time you're using this toggle switch, this is a spring loaded to the center. Every time you go up or down, you need to look on the pressurization system page, on your system display, so you can see the rate of cabin climb or descent, because that's what's gonna actually affect, right, people's ears. A lot of people, if you hold it, then the rate might go like 1,000, 1,500 feet a minute. So that's why when you're operating the manual vertical speed switch here, right? Manual vertical speed control switch, when you operate that switch manually, you have to have that page selected so you can control the rate up or down. 500, 600 feet a minute. You don't want to be more than that so it doesn't affect your ears. And at the same token, you controlling what? The main outflow valve. So by selecting the mode select to the manual mode, you're going to arm the manual vertical speed control switch, right? That is going to control the main outflow valve. And by controlling the main outflow valve, you control the rate of cabin climb and descent. Make sense? Because a lot of people, every time they used to use this manual vertical speed control switch, they used to look at the position of the main outflow valve. But that's not what I care. If the rate is changing, that means the outflow valve is opening and closing. You see, I don't care about the main outflow valve. What I care is the rate. Because if it goes beyond 500, 600 feet a minute, then it's gonna start bothering passengers. That's why normally in auto, in the majority of the aircraft, they don't go beyond 500 feet a minute. In auto, 300 climbing, 400 descending, but they never go, it might change a little, but they never go beyond 500. Because anything above 400 feet per minute, it starts bothering your ears. Yeah. So when you're controlling this system in manual, you have to be very, very careful. That's why a lot of pilots, they don't like to switch for, if you don't have any problem from auto to manual. Let me control today the pressurization in manual. I'm gonna do that. If it was working fine in auto, why should I do that? And the thing is, hopefully you will never have to do that, but that's the problem. The day that you're gonna do it, then you don't know. Because you've been flying for 10, 15 years and you never use it, only on the sim. And sometimes, hopefully, you practice that on the sim. That's why I normally tell you guys, hey, every time you go to the sim, even though if they don't give you something that you really want, make sure you tell the instructor, hey, once we finish, can we practice this? Whatever you don't feel comfortable in the aircraft. Because a lot of times we just go by what we need to cover on your recurrent training. Some airlines, they go by systems. Some of the airlines, they go beyond a little bit more. So if you don't feel comfortable doing something in real life, when you go to your recurrent training, make sure you tell your instructor. And normally they do it, Hey, once you finish, let's practice, for example, crosswind landing. I want to just give me 50, even though it's not legal, just give it to me, I want to feel it. I want to make sure I'm ready just in case something happens. Give me V1 cuts, on takeoff. Go around, one engine, let me practice that a couple more times. You see what I'm saying? Because that's the only time you have to practice. Good. So remember, because